Okay, so we are back, sort of. So yesterday I was able to do a session, but the twist is that I'm only able to run uphill. So I managed to do 4x200, 3 sets. It's not ideal, but if I can just bank my sessions each week, like I used to do in previous years, get 3 to 4 runs a week, focus on the sessions and concentrate around it, I'll run as well as I did in previous years, which is a bit frustrating, but I know I can be competitive, which is the main thing. And it would have been ideal to stay around 50-60 miles a week. It looks like we're gonna have to settle for 20 to 30 again until we settles, but I did bang 5 to 6 weeks of that 5 mileage, so, and if it settles, if the Achilles settles, I will go back to it. However, in truth, I'm cycling now for the first time on the bike, and the bike hurts, man. I think this was planned to be like a just under 2-hour cycle. I was 13 minutes in and it's not easy enough. So it looks like I'm gonna cut this down to like 30 to 45 minutes, maybe even less, and then come back later. You know, bike's not cutting it today, unfortunately. Part and parcel though, man. You play the cards you doubt, and I'm not complaining because I know that I did exactly the same training last year. Still ran 3:30. I know it's not sub 3:30. I know it's going to make it harder to get through the rounds, but all that means is we just have to train that a little bit harder now. Push that a little bit further. 30 minute cross trains to become an hour. Same intensity. The main thing is that I know I'm willing to hurt more than anyone else, so, and I know I'm hurting more in those 1500s because I just don't have the efficiency the other guys have. But who cares? Because the reality is nobody cares about your story or what you go through. We all have one. It's just how you get through it. And if I can be competitive of 25-30 miles a week, hey, then I'll be competitive of 25-30 miles a week. Last week I was in a proper mental slump. I was just frustrated. I had such a routine of running double day almost every day, and then I was thrown off course because I couldn't do it, and mentally kind of my mindset shifted. I was like, this is shit, and then I realized and I remembered that it's not shit. I'm still a full-time athlete. I'm still blessed to be able to do this every day. So if you gave me a choice out of this or be behind an office, I know what I'm choosing. So you just gotta be grateful for what you got and keep pushing. This Achilles is not easy enough on the cycle, so it's not ideal. I think this will be a 30-minute cycle. I'm just gonna play it safe, I think.
A few moments later.
40 minutes in, I can maintain the pain actually. It's definitely getting easier. So I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna cycle, but the problem was that I haven't fueled yet, but I have got fuel on me just in case. Oh yeah, I think I'll carry on. I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna get some food down me now, because the idea was to try and do faster and get an hour in and fasted, but because it's gonna be closer to 2 hours now. Yeah, it'll be close to 2 hours now. I'm gonna have to fuel because otherwise I'm gonna crash and I will physically, energy-wise, fall off a cliff, and kind of don't want that when I'm by myself. So yeah, I'm gonna get a bar in me, and then I've got a Giles out just in case we go for the mortar thing. This thing is like, oh, you know what, it's in it, but sometimes some things are too good to be true. It's so good, it gives you a heck of a kick. I don't know if it's sugar or what's in it, but I'm not too technical with that kind of stuff, but you know, I'm gonna get a bar in me and then enjoy the rest of the ride. Oh man, I just saw a Timon and Pumbaa, a warthog, a bigger one and it's a smaller one. It wasn't huge, it wasn't as big as you expect to see them, so they might have been young. Or that was cool, man. That was cool. You kind of notice it because of that snout and then the spiky hair on the top. It popped out as I was cycling past and it was in amongst the sunflowers. That was cool, man. I'm gonna be honest, the last 10 minutes has not been fun. That bar kept me going for about an hour. I'm 1 hour 52 now, but I got to about 1 hour 40 and I felt like all my reserves were just gone. I just crashed energy wise, but I'm done now. I've got the shakes. I'm still a little bit shaky. I'm sweating, not from working, I'm sweating from, I don't know, blood sugars have dropped, or I assume blood sugars have dropped, but yeah, I'm feeling it. That's 31 miles done. I think that's enough for today. Alright, so let's go and check out this hill. I'm technically off-road now, so this is the start. So you see the line, that's the start line. And then let's see. Apparently this hill, I haven't used this hill, this is a new one, so it'll be interesting to see how cool it is. But apparently it's marked out every 50 meters to 100, so how are we going to see the markers? This is a new hill, so bends around. It's not ideal for my Achilles, which the bend is. It is. Good. Okay, there's the first, there's another marker. Alright, so this could be a good session actually, if I can get my body to work, because it's a 10% gradient. It's a lot steeper than the last one. I was warned not to be out here by myself, because I just come from a chiropractor appointment. I was warned just to be a bit more careful, and if I'm going to do this, do it with someone, and to park up top, leave the car up top, and then rub that down. But I guess I've had such good experiences out here. There's the 400 mark. This is really good actually. It's actually all marked out completely. Yeah, I guess there's an element of me that just hopes that it's not something I have to worry about too much. Of course I do, but The ground isn't the best on this. That's 500 mark. Alright, let's keep going and see where we end up with. 600. It's just like loose tarmac. You can't really see it probably on the camera. 700 and 800. Right, lovely. So it's quite cool. You can't see the view yet, boy, until we do. Wow, you can see where we've just come up from. Before we start, let's check this ish out. Oh, it's a lot of climbing. The only issue is because my Achilles has been playing up, speed's better for it because the angle is more stiff. So the slower I run, because it's such a steep hill, and I didn't realize how steep this bloody was, because it is such a steep hill, I am actually beginning to think maybe the steepness is actually going to give me a few issues because I'm going to have to run quite slow up this. Oh wow, look at that, look at those. Watch.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god!
Shit, you see them? I'm gonna crack on with this. Hill session is an absolute blast. We've got 400, 400. We're gonna aim for 5 sets, and we're gonna see now because we've missed 2 weeks of training now. Pain in the ass, but I have been smashing it across training. So I'm pretty tired, pretty banged up. Let's just see how this feels. I'm not gonna be able to film this out here solo by myself. So, unfortunately, I'll have to check in after the session. I'll let you know how it goes. Hopefully this smile's still on my face, and if it is, then it means it's good news. If it's not, and I look miserable as fuck, then just know that I'm frustrated as hell, and it means I didn't finish the session, but c'est la vie, c'est la vie. What does that mean? I did it. I got through the full sesh, but it was bloody hard. It was 400, 400. I had 4 or 5 sets down. I'm smiling, and I got the first one done. And because it's a 10% day gradient, you probably can't see that, but it's so steep. But look down, and then look at that hill there going up, and then it gives you perspective. That's how steep it is. The first fall was like 121, and I was like, whoa, that's slow. And then my second fall was like 137. I blew a gasket, and then I averaged like 127, 133, 34. The second ones, I got to 3 sets and was like, maybe I need to change the session. And then I told myself to stop being weak. So then I did 1 more set, but the recovery's back down with like 5 minutes, 5:30. I can't run quickly, my Achilles, so. But I was virtually pain-free, not completely, but wasn't affecting my running. If you've been to Potch, you know the Telegraph Hill. It's a rough one. It's so much harder than the one we normally do. But I think it's definitely a hill for shorter sprints. It's not one that's made for, I like to hit it. It's not one that's made for the longer stuff, because you just can't get your cadence up unless you're crazy light, and I'm probably too heavy to be running up these kind of hills, but that's my excuse. I mean, I got lactic headache. Oh, right across there. Oh, right. Good news, man. 2 weeks and I'm almost back. If I can run on Thursday, I'll be back. Don't ever forget this about me. I'm so used to being injured. Remember, I'm that guy that basically does this all year round. Last year I did this the whole time, just sessions really. It's only the last sort of 12 weeks I've been running more, so I'm still going to run the 330s. I just wanted to see if running a bit more would allow me to do the 328s, 327s. But let's start early, 329s. So hopefully if I can get back in the next week, then I'll put the mileage up to about 45s and just hover at that rather than the 60s. And then Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Bish, bash, bosh. Yeah, man, I'm happy now. I got a reason to smile again. I didn't want to film at first. The first week I was here, I had headaches killing me. But now I'm running again, man. I've got life back in me again. I got life back in me. What a day. I'm feeling pretty beat up now. Really solid day's training actually. So we did the hill reps this morning, then we did a big gym session, and then I did my cross train. But my cross train was like a semi low end tempo threshold. But a really good day's work. I reckon if I can just get back to doing this again, banking this for the rest of the camp, I'll be fine. As long as I can do my sessions. Mileage will be hovering around the lower end again, but again, the cross training just wipes you out, and just it's really good hit. And then just monitoring stuff like diet, that's going to be the key thing. I want to be lighter this year from running the 15s. I want to try and be at least 2 to 3 kg lighter if I can. More than doable. But a really solid day's training. Yeah, man, I'm happy with it. I'm pleased. It was 2 weeks of like a bit of a hairy moment, so it's nice to be back here now and smiling and feeling good with purpose again. Check this out. Look how cool this is. Anyone British is going to find that unreal. I think they call it, is it a termite mound? How deep they go. Yeah, no, I'm happy, man. I'm a happy bunny now. Anyone will know if you're an athlete and you're not running, you feel like your life is over. No, I think I'm sort of, I guess my situation is slightly different. Oh, my eyes went up on it. I've just got sweat in my eyes, it's burning like, ow. Yeah, I'm back now. Yeah, I guess like anyone in my position, because give you perspective, look at this clip I'm gonna put in there now. Watch that, and you'll see the little ones, little Aaron and Sebi. And for me, they just absolutely melt my heart. I mean, they should do, they're my kids, but being away from them can just be really tough. And I think when I'm injured, I'm like, I'd rather be with them during this period because I can maximize what I can do with them, rather than saying, oh, I have to sleep or I have to rest, or all the boring shit that it's just I enjoy doing because it puts me at a level playing field with my competition. And in truth, I'm not at a level playing field day to day because I have to do so much more with the bike business, with being a dad. In truth, I've got no one to blame but myself because I'm wired that way. Like, I have to keep busy. I think I tried to be a full-time athlete. We've only been running my life, and I just got so bored that it lasted all of, it didn't last. It's not sustainable for me. I'm a little bit wired where I have to do a bit more. Yeah, being away was tough. But being here now, knowing that I'm running, knowing that there's purpose with what I'm doing, it's just, so much easier, so much happier, so much more pleasant just to be around. I mean, there's quite a few, just then actually, there was quite a few, like all of the French team are there, Jimmy Gressier, Mike Foppen, he's Dutch but trains the French team, loads of others are all there. So it's quite nice. And then like Patrick Dobick, who won a medal when he first stepped up to the 800. You're surrounded by so much talent and it just made me want to do more. And I was pain free. Honestly, being pain free was the best thing. I needed it so bad for my own mental health.
Are you okay?
And that's the thing, like last week you would have seen how miserable I was. I watched the bug back myself and I was a miserable sod, man. Such a miserable side. But you have to understand this, every athlete has a story. I cannot stress that enough. We all have a story. It's not what you go through, it's how you get through it. And I promise you, the best person to ever show you what resilience is, and if you look into him, it's James Ellington. Oh man, what that guy went through and what he came back from. And although he didn't quite make teams again, I think if he was a few years younger, he probably would have made teams. His injuries were so bad, they were career ending. I say my injuries were career ending. Mine was brain damage and just busted up sort of knee and tendons, muscles, and like I've still got like deformed, like my glutes completely deformed, like my knee still gives way from my crash. And I've still got issues, so I still have to suffer. Like I still have a weak knee. My whole right side is a bit of a mess though. However, my injuries were nowhere near as bad as something like James's, and his resilience and willpower was like nothing I've ever seen. Yes, everyone goes through hard times. Whenever you think you've got it hard, someone else has it harder, and it's just having that resilience to push through. And then you actually find a lot of the best athletes have a sliding door moment where they have a moment in time where they're faced with some form of adversity in one form or another. Remember, it affects everybody different. That kind of shapes their character into being what they are. I'm no global champion, but I know that my bike crash shaped me and my mindset into what I am now. And remember, before it I was running 153, now I'm running 143. I'm 10 seconds quicker than I was before. I remember I was 19 or 20 when I had the crash. 19 I think, turning 20. So it's not like I was a spring chicken in any way. So having that resilience is so hard, but it's so important. I'm waffling, I'm gonna leave it there. But we're back. Okay, so today is gonna be the first run since post-injury debacle. 2 weeks, couple days now. So we're gonna see. Well, it'll be interesting to see how my body reacts actually. My Achilles is a little bit sore after yesterday, but I'm gonna try and do 5-ish miles today. See how it feels and take it from there. But stomach's a little bit sore, a bit rough and ready. I tried to have my binge yesterday, and geez Louise, because I've been eating so clean, my persistence just like, blur. But no, let's see how this run feels. And we're bringing the GoPro with us today. I'll know instantly if this is gonna work or not. Let's get the watch started. Yeah, no, it's pretty sore, but we'll see how it fares. It might improve, it might not. We'll find out very quickly. I'll check in again at about a mile point and then take it from there. So I'm running, but it's uncomfortable as hell. I can just feel like a pain, like a real sort of pull every step that I kind of come down and push off on the inside. When I first had it, it wasn't on both sides, but so it's an interesting one. I think it's funny when I don't really want to record this, but I think it's probably good just to show the emotions of how you're feeling, how it's going, and so on. What time are we on? I'm gonna leave this stick this at 3 mile. I was gonna do 5, but I don't think it's worth the discomfort, but the views are worth it. And just being sane, feeling sane as you're running makes such a difference, but the pain isn't worth it. So I'm just gonna run back because every step's killing me. There'll be some of you sitting there thinking, just stop if it's painful. I'm dealing with that pad being inflamed and time off isn't helping, and I can get the sessions done. So we're gonna have to just manage it. And it might just mean going back to the way I used to train. So we probably just won't do runs for a little while. I think this was a good reminder. So I think I'll try and get in 4 runs next week drop Wednesday's run, drop Sunday's run for cross training and no doubles, and then it'd be interesting to see if that does the trick. But wouldn't it be cool if we had more athletes showing the build up to Paris? I think that'd be pretty epic, because everyone's story is so different, everyone's build up so different, everyone's A to B takes such different turns that it'd be fascinating to build almost brands out of athletes so people can really root for each other. I think that'd be ideal. I'd like to see that. Here's a question. Do you ever get bored of seeing the perfect side of athletics, where you just see the Instagram posts of everyone just looking beautiful and everything's going well? But honestly, I kid you not, if you saw behind the scenes of the day-to-day, you'd realize how bloody shit this sport is sometimes. It's so rough. But at the same time, the beauty in it and how actually good it is, because people see like the crazy highs. There's actually probably more lows, but the highs are so high that they outweigh any low. And like the idea of trying to be the best for me is like, and for all the other athletes, it trumps any we deal with. So it's worth every minute of the stress we have to deal with. That was a 7:30 mile. I'm really chilling. So running's hurting. I'm just gonna rest up now, run tomorrow, see if the tempo helps, and then take it from there. But slow running's the worst thing for me. Hey, if anyone's got any suggestions of how I can get on top of this pain, just to remind you, it's tendons and good health. There's a bit of inflammation around the fat pad, and it's pretty painful, but I can get out fast running, because the more fixed my ankle stays, the easier it is. So shoot me in the comments if you've got anything to recommend, to advise. I'm icing, I'm taking anti-inflammatories, had treatment, shockwave, made some difference, gave me some relief. I saw the chiro yesterday and that made a huge difference. But anything Giles can suggest, fire away at me. Okay, so key takes are, I can session and I can run quick, but I can't run slow. So welcome to my world. This is normal for me. I've got to, what did I get to? 20 minutes, 2.6 mile. I can't finish the run. I wanted to aim for 3. And the pain was just getting to a point where I was like, what am I gaining from running another half a mile and hurting myself? But yeah, no, the key takes are, I can still session, I can still run, I could just only run quick. So the slower running, where I'm spending too much time coming down and up, it's just a bit of a no-go for now. Again, nothing new for me. Been in this position a million times before. This is the scenario I'm usually in every single year. And this is why when I say to people, like, when people often ask me, like, why do you run such little mileage? Like, this is the reason. It's a pain in the ass. It means I'm not necessarily at a level playing field, but on the flip side, like, I guess there's an element of thought that I think that because I don't run as much, I actually think it's going to increase the time I'm able to spend in the sport, because I'm not bashing my system all the time. I'm not constantly smashing my tendons, my ligaments, the cartilage. I am overworking my heart maybe, so that could be issues maybe way down the line in terms of like overexertion more frequently. But in terms of like my body, like my tendons, the things that normally go for an athlete that just make them lose their pop because they've just, the overuse over time, there's only so long before your body just starts to break down and it deteriorates and you can no longer be as competitive as you used to do. You see it all the time, athletes lose their pop. I don't know, my theory will be interesting to see if I can get to like 34, 35, and if I'm still as competitive and if I have more longevity because I run less miles. Because a lot of the high mileage guys just have to keep stepping up the distances because they lose their pop, they lose their speed, and it just deteriorates. And I wonder if that is a case of due to higher mileage or something else. Okay, I want to show you one of the coolest things I find about South Africa. Now the track's just there, but there's very few places in the world where you can, on your way to the track, you see the monkeys. And the craziest bit is the locals see them more as vermin. They just see them as more of a nuisance, but I guess for anybody from a European country it's pretty epic. But yeah, the locals definitely don't like them. Yeah, I'm not a big fan, but it's pretty epic. It's pretty cool. And we're back, session done. So all about the small wins. The plan was to do 4 or 5 by a mile. Realistically thinking I was going to do 3. I realised that the warm-up was really uncomfortable. I did my first stride pain-free, second stride pain-free, then I did a 200 primer completely pain-free, and I'm realising that if I'm going quicker than sort of 65 pace for a 400, I'm somewhat pain-free because my ankle engages much more. If I'm running slower, I'm coming all the way down and it's absolutely murdering my Achilles. So I ended up having to change up the session slightly, and in doing that I then was able to do 6 800s, averaging like 218s. I know that's nothing special, but for me that's a huge win, huge win. I'm going to keep the warm-ups down short, session shorter, try and keep the reps a little bit faster. And it might mean dropping down to the 800, but if that's what it is, that's what it is. I mean, as long as I'm competing, that's the main thing. I'm happy to run either event, so no, happy days. And for full transparency, today was a little bit of an emotional one. So Pops got rushed into hospital. My dad, called him Pops, got rushed into hospital last night. So I didn't get to sleep until about 5 o'clock because I was panicking the whole time, worried about him because he's got a load of pre-existing health issues. Long story short, he had a hernia that wrapped around his bowels, and they feared that because there was nothing could get through his stomach and his bowels,
So they feared that it's wrapped down to a point where the bowel might have died and then they had to rush him to hospital. He's got pre-existing health issues and he can't go into that general anaesthetic. Long story short, they gave him blood thinners, so they had to then put him under general anaesthetic. So you can imagine the fear in all of our family at that time. So a real rough night's sleep. And that's why I could have tried to push to 8, but I was so happy just to have got 6 done in mild discomfort, much more than bearable. As I was getting to like the 800 point, it's getting really painful. But first 400 I could do comfortably, and it's just like the pain would build up. But you know, an emotional roller coaster, and we know that I always get injured around stress. And my coach was really worried about me training today actually, because he knows that we've sort of tracked all of my injuries back, and they always come around times of stress. So no man, what a day, I'm happy. Take the small wins, take the good with the bad, man, take the good with the bad.